everyone got real quiet. They're like, I don't know how to be now.
Yeah. Oh no, just be, just you could talk normal.
Well, I'm looking for us. There we are.
Define normal.
All righty. Well, I have the theme music ready to go. If we're all ready, we can
It is
get
7 o'clock.
started.
Let's roll. Yeah.
All right.
It's 7 o'clock on the dot. Got my drop top cruising the streets.
Welcome and happy Saturday night, and welcome to our very first Veterans Comedy Night, which is an event brought to you by the Resurrecting Lives Foundation, the Warrior Workout Network, and of course the Veterans Breakfast Club, which is a nonprofit that harnesses the power of storytelling to connect and heal and educate and inspire. And I think we're going to have all four of those tonight. My name is Todd DiPastino. I am the director of the Veterans Breakfast Club. And I've been looking forward to this event for a long time. It's been long in the making. We have four wonderful Army veterans joining us who will be doing brief. What was that?
Hua. You say Army, you have to say hua.
Oh, do you have to say that?
Yes.
I think so.
Hua.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we have four wonderful veterans with us from one branch of service, and they will be sharing brief comedy sets with us, and I'll introduce them right before their sets. But they are Robb Will, Andrew Young, Damien Gabis, and Longhorn the comedian will be closing us out. And we also have Dr. Chrisanne Gordon. Good morning, or good evening, Dr. Gordon. How are you?
Right, and it's morning somewhere, so we're okay.
This is, Chrisanne was really the brains behind this event, and I'm very glad that she inspired us and prompted us to do it. And this event is also brought to you by the Military Community Support Foundation, or the Support Project, which is a community foundation here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm on the board of directors, and the president and founder of the MCSP is with us. This is Dan Steitner. Hello, Dan.
Hello. How is everybody out there?
I think
Whoa, that's big.
It's just a great. This is the Military Community Support Project. It's a great thing to do on a Saturday night to get people together and, try and have some laughs in these hard times. And I'm grateful that the Military Community Support Project decided to support this event. Dan, I think, I said that the Veterans Breakfast Club, we've been working with you for a long time, and the Veterans Breakfast Club really is about education.
Yes.
And it's about inspiration.
Yes.
And it's about healing,
Exactly.
And it's about connecting. And this just seems to, like, an event like this seems to kind of hit all those things.
Oh, humor is the best thing in the world. I mean, this is going to be the second best comedian event of the year. The first one, of course, is what's happening in Washington for the last 8 months. So this is number 2 of the week, I'm excited.
So Dan, why don't you take this opportunity to tell people a little bit about what the MCSP does and what they're up to?
What we are is basically, if you look at our logo here right now, it's shaped like the Pentagon, and what it really represents, I'm going to go into what we represent, is we got the 5 branches, now the 6th branch of the military that really are they protect us. They're the ones that go out and make sure that they protect us. But we as citizens, we need to support them. So it's really symbolic. We work together to support each other, because it's our mission to really support the military as they protect us. And the star there represents the North Star, is the true north, and we always find our way home, true to our values. And so what we try to do is we really want to engage the public engage the people to get more involved and support the different initiatives that we can do to help our military. And TBI is one of those initiatives that's dear to my heart. And so I'm an honor to just be here. And please go to the Veterans Breakfast Club website and make a donation to Resurrecting Lives, because what we need to do is help them and raise money so that we can further the scientific advancements of TBI.
And it probably would be, if you want to cut out the middleman, you could just go right to the Resurrecting Lives website and make that donation.
Okay, sorry about that.
But if it comes to us and you say, hey, you want this to go to Resurrecting Lives, we will absolutely pass it along. And that's that part of what we're here to do tonight, is raise some money if we can for the Resurrecting Lives Foundation, and the Military Community Support Project has done that. And the Military Community Support Project has supported the Veterans Breakfast Club. It's supported bringing iPads to veterans who want to join our events and can't do it because they don't have the technology. It supports Operation Troop Propitiation, which sends boxes out to troops overseas. Heroes Supporting Heroes, which is more focused around domestic reserve base support. So it's busy and active, and always kind of scanning the community to see where the support is needed. And so I'm grateful to you, Dan, for the work that you do.
My pleasure.
All right. And you will be staying with us, and we may hear from you again. But I want to introduce next Chris Ann Gordon. Hello, Dr. Chris Ann. How are you?
Hello, Dr. Todd. How are you?
Very good, doctor. I hope you're fine, doctor.
Chris Ann is fine for tonight. This is humor.
Chris Ann Gordon is a medical doctor, and she is the founder of Gray Matter Innovations and Resurrecting Lives Foundation. Both of these enterprises help support those with traumatic brain injury. You have a medical background. That alone would make you able to be an expert on traumatic brain injury, but you also have experienced traumatic brain injury. And because of that, you wrote a book, and I want to share the book and encourage people to get it if they want to learn more about your story and about TBI. It's called Turn the Lights On, A Physician's Personal Journey from the Darkness of Traumatic Brain Injury to Hope, Healing, and Recovery. And, we've known each other, Chris Ann, for about a year and a half or so, maybe 2 years, coming up on 2 years. And you've said early on, when we were talking about TBI and veterans, you told me a couple things that were new to me. And one early thing that you did say was that humor has a lot to do with the healing process.
Yeah.
And
it really does. I think that most important is that traumatic brain injury has a lot to do with the depression complex that occurs. I mean, there has been said, and I really believe this, that depression is a root of comedy. And I said, that being said, every single person who has a traumatic brain injury is a comedian in training. Because what happens immediately when you get a blow to your head, traumatic brain injury by definition is a blow to the head from an external force. When that happens, instantaneously, so many things happen in your brain to take all of the feel-good chemicals out of play immediately. And by that, I mean all of the chemicals we're about to talk about, the 4 different humors that kind of help us get up and stay calm and get going, all disappear. And not only do they disappear from the brain, but the cells that make those chemicals and rejuvenate those chemicals will be gone for either weeks or months or years. So now that we can kind of take a look at the brain on the very microscopic end, we can see that the things I'm about to talk about, humor brings back. I mean, humor is kind of like a self-fulfilling type of thing. If you begin to talk humor, you will begin to make more of these chemicals in your brain, and they will make you a little bit clearer. Now, it doesn't mean that just because you're a comedian, you're going to be happy your whole life, because as we know, the yin yang of being a comedian. As a matter of fact, I thought a very, very interesting interview with Mr. Al Pacino a few years ago. And they asked him if he did humor, and he goes, no, I really admire people who do humor, because the more humorous somebody is, the more I understand how difficult their life has been. And I found that very, very interesting from a person who, can play any role that he seems to want to take a hold of. So
that's an insightful comment.
Right. Yeah. And Go ahead. You're about to say.
Yeah, I was just going to ask how you've been working with TBI for a long time. How big is this problem?
It is actually huge, and it's getting larger. Before COVID hit, the World Health Organization was going to claim traumatic brain injury the fourth most major global pandemic everywhere. And a lot of it is because of the continuing conflicts and the ways that these conflicts are fought, with, blast after blast after drone blast. It's no longer the hand-to-hand, face-to-face. It's more, with a sneak attack from something that rattles your brain. Not only that, we have all of these great adrenaline charged video games, and everything else is getting, kind of the hyped up world here. So all of those things are making traumatic brain injury a lot more prominent.
And how often does it go undiagnosed?
We estimate, those of us who kind of track traumatic brain injury, estimate that it goes underdiagnosed or undiagnosed about 90% of the time.
90% of the time.
Yeah.
Oy, oy. And I mean, I know these are big questions, but how prevalent do you think the problem is in the veterans community, among veterans?
I think it's a lot larger than we even know. What we are saying, the Department of Defense is saying, is that about 1 out of 4 veterans suffers a traumatic brain injury in combat. But what about all of the injuries that happen in training? That's what I'd like to know. You don't jump out of a helicopter as an airborne, as a paratrooper, as a ranger. You don't do that the first 10 times without getting a traumatic brain injury. That's for sure. You're definitely not landing perfectly, and it is rattling your brain. Along with that, this is an adrenaline charged population. I mean, I got in trouble once for mentioning that, the guys that I was talking to, and I've now interviewed close to 1,000 of them, these are not people who were in the chess club. That's a little boring for them. These were hockey players and football players and multiple sports. And, they rode on their 4-wheelers, and they're still doing that. These are adrenaline charged people who have multiple kind of difficulties with even mild traumatic brain injury while they're growing up in middle school, high school, before they even join the military.
Yeah, I'd want to let's continue this conversation, Dr. Gordon, because our idea was that we would have our veterans do their comedy sets, and then we would regroup and kind of have a roundtable discussion with the veterans, with the comedians, about their service, about their lives, about their experiences if they have them with traumatic brain injury, and have you chime in and maybe explain more about what.
Before we get going, I would just like to quickly talk about the 4 humors, because that kind of leads up to Robb Will and his, kind of telling us about the logo and that for tonight. And I'll be really, really quick with them. But the reason why I want to talk about these before they talk is so that the audience can identify which ones of these, humors are kind of getting to them at the time. And the first one we'll talk about is that good old neurotransmitter dopamine. That's the thing that gets you up and gets you going. It's what is getting me talking this fast. And all of us who are adrenaline charged people have a lot of dopamine receptors. The second one is serotonin. I have a lot less of that. Longhorn, our comedian, has a lot more that. He can act mellow, that mellow, I'm chill, nothing's gonna get to me. The good hormone that comes about to help you sleep and relax, that's that one. Oxytocin is primarily a hormone that people think about of women who are pregnant and women who are breastfeeding. However, when you're in a military setting and you're all there together in life or death, you bond like a family. And oxytocin is the hormone that allows you to bond with somebody very, very tightly, like a family. And then the last being the endorphins, the feel good, our own opiates, and what I just want to say is medical research has shown that 20 minutes of humor literally changes the chemicals within the body. And that was at Loma Linda, good old California, showing us how to be happy there. So with that in mind, you just showed a little for humor for healing. It kind of explains it with this, but I'd like Robb Will, who helped us develop that, to give a little shout out.
Hello, Robb. How are you?
Thanks for having me. First off, thanks to everybody for being here. This logo it was actually developed by somebody who took my words and my ideas, and she came up with this. Now,
That's
am.
RL. RL.
I am a brain injury sufferer myself, or survivor, I suppose I should say, not sufferer, although it is suffering sometimes. But anyway, I get a little emotional sometimes. So when I get into this, I might. Don't let that bother you. That's me.
I'm going to let me introduce you a little bit to everybody. We have, his name is Robb Will. He's from Jamestown, New York, the home of Lucille Ball. And I met Robb last year at Chautauqua, isn't it? Jamestown, New York?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And I met Robb last year we had an event at Chautauqua, met him there. We had a very brief conversation just about doing something like this. And so I'm so glad that we're able to get this together, even if it's virtual. Robb left college, or maybe he was kicked out, I'm not sure, joined the Army in, I think it was 1983, and became an M1 tank turret repair person. And tank repair doesn't really have a clean civilian equivalent. So Robb says he turned to comedy. And I know he started his comedy career after surviving multiple tragedies, including one that left him medically, he said, one of a kind.
That's true.
You said a quotation that I just thought was absolutely beautiful. You said, sometimes life throws tragedies at you. Tragedy plus time equals comedy.
That's not totally from me. I stole that from somebody.
The best quotations are stolen from somebody. Absolutely.
But it's a fact, and that's true. Back to the humor for healing real quick. The reason that I believe I'm still here and still doing comedy is because I've felt the therapeutic effects from hearing people laugh at the dumb stuff I say. I have more respect for Gold Star families and Gold Star members than anybody that walks this earth. And I want to do nothing more than make sure they end up entertained a little bit every year. That's why the Gold Star is in humor. Doesn't look like it right now, but actually humor has helped heal me. The logo, I started doing comedy in 2011. Right here in Jamestown. That same very night, Joan Rivers was on the main stage here in town because of the Lucille Ball Comedy Festival. I can't think of anywhere else I'd want to live than here, the home of the National Comedy Center, and where I can go every day, even now during this junk, and laugh about something totally different than what I laughed about yesterday.
I love it. I love it. Well, Robb, when you're ready, why don't you begin your 7-minute set?
Okay. I should have got Kleenexes a little closer to me. You guys tricked me a little bit. This is supposed to be fun. I promise you, I'll figure it out. Anyway, thanks for having me. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Robb Will, and I am Jamestown, New York's 67th funniest comedian. As long as the mayor, city council, and the school board stays, I'll never move up on that list. I sometimes for fun, for my entertainment, I'll go to the store and I'll hang out in the shampoo aisle. And I'll wait, and eventually I'll get a look like I'm not wearing a mask in the store, and inevitably that person will be a younger, fairly attractive, long blonde haired lady. And just when she reaches for her shampoo, I'll be like, That's the kind I used to use. If I don't get somebody to come into the shampoo aisle, after a short while, I'll circle around to the hair accessory aisle. I usually have a little fun in there too. Anyway, I'm from a military family. I've traced my history back to the 1650s. when a tall guy in the Highlands in Scotland came down out of the Highlands and into one of the cities over there and met up with Lord General Cromwell, Oliver Cromwell, and he kicked him right in the kilt. And what happened was he ended up exiled here to America in 1652 or 64. I can't remember the year. The numbers mess me up. Excuse me. But from there, it gets a little interesting. During the War of 1812, some of my family went to Canada and changed the spelling of their last name. So you're stuck with family. But I'll go to both of my grandfathers served in the U.S. Army. One of them very honorably under General Patton during World War II. He actually raced the Bastogne, and he was one of the first Americans in the Buchenwald concentration camp. My other grandfather, I'm still researching him, but it appears he's the inspiration for the Corporal Klinger character on MASH. My father is a U.S. Navy veteran, the only one in the family that went Navy. He was tops in his sonar class. And recently, my lawyer told me my father is the smartest person he knows, which is why I know I need a wiser attorney. My dad was tops in his sonar class, and the U.S. Navy put him on an icebreaker. And to this day, in the big game, Dad still roots for Army. My brother, he did 22 and a half years in the Army. His last duty station was at the Pentagon. He was actually one of the 7 dwarfs. Now, if I tell you too much, it's because I wasn't supposed to tell you this stuff. And if I come up missing, you'll know why. But he was one of the 7 dwarfs that kept Snow White up to date on all things Army. Snow White was the right-hand man of the U.S. Army Chief of Staff, 4-star general. I was an E4, tank turret repairman. I went to visit my brother at the Pentagon one Friday afternoon to go golfing, and I got there a little earlier than I was supposed to. And I had traveled down, left Jamestown early in the day wearing a tie-dye t-shirt and shorts and comfortable shoes because I was traveling. And just to let you know, if you travel, a tie-dye is a perfect shirt in case you spill something on you during the trip. And when I stopped and went into the truck stop, I got a chili cheese dog and realized I didn't want to eat that in the car. So I ate that inside the shop and continued on my way, got to the Pentagon early. My brother comes out, he grabs me, rushes me right in. He has the general's badge on his uniform, and he rushes me right in. We go right into this 4-star general's office. I was an E4. My brother's a lieutenant colonel, 4-star general, and to the 4-star general's left was his brother, 3-star general, U.S. Army Surgeon General. I did not belong in that office. Anyway, there I am standing there next to my brother with a chili cheese dog stain and my tie-dye t-shirt, being introduced to a 4-star general and his 3-star general brother. And all I could muster up to say was, obviously, sir, not all sets of brothers are as highly motivated as you two. And he chuckled at that and gave me his coin. When I was in, I never got a coin when I was in. Not one time. Met my wife in the Army, Fort Hood, Texas, 11,966 days ago. Still pissed at the Army. I did not know she was better at guns, grenades, and bayonets. I didn't know until well after it was too late. since then, I've been able to stop the bleeding and heal the wounds. My name's Robb Will. Thanks for listening. Next up is
Thank you very much, Rob. I'm looking forward to hearing a little bit more of the life behind those jokes after we're done with these sets. That's great. I appreciate it so much. And we have next up is Andrew Young. He is also Army. He's retired. You're retired Army Staff Sergeant?
Yep.
Andrew?
That's me. Yep.
A veteran of Iraq and Afghanistan. You were a 19D.
Yep.
Which is a cavalry scout.
Yes, sir.
Correct. Oh, right. And you're the founder of the Warrior Workout Network. And I do want to, well, I guess you have, I want to share the what would be the logo of the Warrior Workout Network. And if you want to, or if we can, Ellie, if you could put the link to the Warrior Workout Network in the chat on the Zoom side and on the Facebook side, that would be great. So people can check out what they do. And I know you do a lot of podcasting. It's the Warrior Workout Network is a nonprofit dedicated to fighting suicide and obesity in the veterans community. And you began using stand-up as a way of kind of healing social anxiety and just to be silly around creative and interesting people, you say. I could relate to that. And you use dark humor mixed with healing advice and gives it way to a unique comedic experience that will leave your audience in stitches.
Oh man, I gave myself too much on that.
You
one.
did. And I just want to say, the microphone, you have definitely to win the award for the most interesting microphone.
Thank you. Oh,
and
thank you so
I
much.
want to, it bothered me. This is the microphone. This is what it reminded me of. Some of the people in our audience will be old enough to remember this. I don't remember what it was called, a gyro something or other, but I definitely had one. If you were a kid in the 1970s, likely you at least saw one of these. So thank you very much for joining us, Andrew. Take it away.
You. Well, I really do appreciate you letting us even be a part of this thing. I mean, you read my bio and I'm like, all right, they're going to let us do this. I mean, that's the first level of clearance. So we're good. And we're really excited. This is one of those shows where my wife's like, how you doing on this one? And I said, I'm good, but a little nervous. And she said, nervous? That's not like you at all. Why would you be nervous about this show? And I said, well, usually I don't do shows for, a lot of Vietnam vets. So it's a big honor to do a show for my heroes. And, one of the big things is I've got to be able to connect with these people. And I don't know if I'm up to date enough on my Bonanza references to really fit in right now. And how light and airy the Vietnam vets are anyways. I mean, yeah, right. They just love laughing about nothing. So I was like, yeah, it's going to be super easy to connect with these guys. Look, my neighbor's a Vietnam vet. I can't make him laugh too hard or it hurts his spleen. I have to be careful about how I censor myself here tonight. It's really weird. And the Veterans Breakfast Club, thank you for having us. I didn't know what a Veterans Breakfast Club. I assumed, empty room, throw a fold out table in there, drop a box of MREs and just throw a bunch of veterans around it. Just a bunch of the old non-vets and just, I got some Skittles. What do you got? Kidney stones if I eat that stuff, man. I got country captain chicken and potential renal failure this evening. You think I want to taste the rainbow right now? In Pittsburgh, I love Pittsburgh. If I order a Pittsburgh salad, that means I'm getting steak and French fries on my salad. If you put steak and French fries on a bed of lettuce, you know what you don't have? A salad. That's not a salad. I'm so. But I like your style. I like your taste. So I love you for it. But I don't want you to get a big head about that, Pittsburgh, because you guys, you say the word yins instead of y'all or you all like the rest of us. And I got to say, I don't know how yins aren't punched in the face more for having weird words. I guess I just don't get it. And you don't have to listen to me because I'm really not that smart anyways. I try to get veterans excited about mental health. That's like trying to get you guys excited about tofu hot dogs. It doesn't sound right, man. It doesn't feel right to say that kind of stuff. I'm not that smart. You ever try to convince your wife that a Reese's peanut butter cup was a protein bar? You ever go to the store and look for hand lotion in the meat rub section? That's the level of dumb you're dealing with, guys. But I have good
Wow.
advice. I've got good advice. Check this out. Like, I'd say, there's a lot of people that are anti-mask. A lot of people are pro-mask. I say, hey, wear your mask to be safe. If you go somewhere and you forget your mask, don't go. Like, I forgot my mask one time. One time I forgot my mask. Guess what? I went in anyways because coronavirus can't live in Waffle House. Like, that's not a thing. Like, who took your order? Deb, how old is she? 25, 52? You don't know. And teeth? Some. Tattoos? Yes. What kind? The kind you get when you're 18. So she's got this like gothic edge about her, but she's also wearing a camouflage hat. So you don't know what her deal is. Do you think coronavirus wants anything to do with Deb? Coronavirus sticks on the glass of a Waffle House like a demon on a Catholic church. Coronavirus doesn't want anything to do with Deb or Waffle House. And another thing I say is if you're living this life, have a dream, have goals. No dreams and no goals. That's like living your life in a dark tunnel with no light at the end of it. My biggest dream right now is that I'm going to get a phone call from George Clooney and he's going to say, look, Andy, because he can call me Andy. I'm done acting. This summer we're getting the band together. We're going on tour as Clooney Tunes. I'm gonna tell you something. Clooney Tunes was good. The Clooney Tunes was real good. It was wasn't until it became all Clooney and no tunes. I'm not mad. I'm not angry. Look, I'm thankful for the times we live in. Look, I remember there was a time when I went to work. If I didn't close my car door all the way, my dome light would drain my battery and then my car wouldn't start. I didn't have a cell phone to call anybody. You know what I did get? Exercise, because I got to walk home. That's why I got unexpected exercise. That's what I got. So I'm thankful for the times we live in. And you have people that want a civil war, which is insane to me. We learned in the past, it's not a good idea. You'll have people that are going to put you down. Look at this. 18th president, Ulysses S. Grant. And times haven't changed. Look, guys in the picture taking it too seriously. Kids just, when can I go play video games? And then look, wife is in the back checking her phone, not paying attention to what's going on. Look, times have not changed. And here's the last thing I want to say. If you want to create a better society of people, here's what we need to do. We need to start enforcing Christmas. I know it sounds dumb. It sounds like a stupid idea, but what happens on December 25th when you're like, oh, hey, where's my presents? Well, let's take a look. Back in June, you got drunk and punched your cousin Tommy in the ear. And then you spent the rest of the year trying to convince your wife that a Reese's peanut butter cup was a protein bar. You get a comprehensive list of how to be a better person next year. That's what you get. All right, everybody. I'm Andrew Young. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Next up is our very own Damien Gabis from Pittsburgh right here. He's an Army infantry veteran of Afghanistan Operation Enduring Freedom, whose 19th anniversary, the beginning of which is coming up this week, by the way, August 7th or October 7th. It was in Afghanistan where you survived, I think it was in 2013, a suicide car bomber that left you with traumatic brain injury and other injuries. And you're now a medical ICU social worker at Allegheny General Hospital. Thank you for joining us, Damien.
Hey, thanks, everyone. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Cool.
And you know what, Damien, I know that you like my hair a lot, so I just want to show you. I did it up special for you.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
I napped before this, and I woke up and wondered what year it was, so my hair's a little bit out of sorts. I actually work at the VA now, so I got promoted. So, yeah, as Andrew was saying, like times are weird. I've been watching Tiger King. That was stupid, but I was real into it, and I thought, like, all right, like I'm into it. I'm engaged in this, and then after this is over, maybe I could finally kill myself. And I thought, like, I know exactly how I'm going to do this. I'm going to drive into the garage. I'm going to let the garage door come down, and I'm gonna rev the engine a bunch and just kind of inhale the sweet, sweet toxic fumes of peace. And I get a Prius, so that's gonna take a real long time. As Todd mentioned, I was quote blown up in Afghanistan by a white Corolla. A white Corolla came in, hit our truck. I was driving, blew off the door. I had burns on my face, and it was kind of strange because I don't know if anyone's ever been to Afghanistan, but all they got is white Corolla. It's like, and anytime we would get a report, on the radio, like, got a possible car bomb, white Corolla. Probably every day, white Corolla. I just got a beef with Toyota, I suppose. Like, where do they get off making these, like, family-friendly, spacious, J.D. Power and Associates award-winning, bomb-friendly vehicles? So I just don't know where they get off on that. I mean, like, I drive a Toyota, but I drive for Uber in my free time. I'm a social worker, so that should let you know that I have to supplement my income. So, like, there's all these self-driving Ubers in Pittsburgh, and all the Uber drivers are all pissed off. Like I wonder if these are gonna take our jobs, like automation, yeah. And I was like thinking, I wonder if, like, suicide bombers are worried that these self-driving cars are going to take their jobs.
Wow.
Because that's a once in a lifetime gig, you know what I mean? So, I mean, you can't get it. You can't get in it. You can't get it any more than that one time, and it's a process. You gotta do your best. So as Todd mentioned, I am a social worker. It's because I identify as a frumpy white woman with shoulder pads taking away black kids from loving families. Yeah. I mean, I'm real into mental health, like, I'm glad other people have it, good for them to have mental health. Go to therapy, try therapy. That's fine. I actually am doing therapy, via Zoom. It's called EMDR, and it's kind of weird when you're just sobbing, and then the guy you rent a room for comes in and with his shirt off and questionable underwear and ask you when the rent is coming. So I'm like, all right, man, it's okay. Like, I'm hanging by a thread. I'll get you your rent. So, but I really appreciate VBC just being able to talk stuff out. There's a lot of good veteran communities out there, and Pittsburgh's pretty vibrant, has a pretty vibrant veteran community. So, and if anyone feels the need to check up on me, I'm actually doing pretty well. So, but I appreciate it. That's my time. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you so much, Damien. We appreciate you, Damien. Thank you so much for joining us and for sharing that. And for the shout out to the Veterans Breakfast Club. And I should let people know, if you haven't joined the Veterans Breakfast Club events, we hold 3 live events a week. Sunday afternoon is our Greatest Generation Live, where we have on World War II vets kind of sharing their stories. And we actually have a World War II vet with us tonight. 99-year-old Julia Parsons is here. Hello, Julia. Good to see you. And I want to let people know, if they do want to turn on their, Ellie, if they want to turn on their cameras, they could just do it themselves, right?
Yeah, the bottom left of the Zoom screen should have a little video icon that you can click and turn on your camera.
Okay, bottom left of the Zoom screen, you could just turn on your camera yourself. And And so we have Greatest Generation Live is Sunday afternoons at 4. Monday night is our 7 p.m. happy hour. And on this Monday, October 5th, we'll be commemorating the 19th anniversary of the beginning of Operation Enduring Freedom. If you could believe it, that was 19 years ago on October 7th, 2001. We're going to have Afghanistan veterans, including Peter Thens, who's with us tonight. You will be, Damien, you'd be very welcome to join us if you could make it Monday at 7. It'd be great to have you. We're going to have Afghanistan veterans kind of share their stories, and we'll be just having a talk about that ongoing war that is 19 years old. And then Wednesday morning, we have a kind of a unstructured breakfast at 9 a.m., and that is not simulcast on YouTube and Facebook. That is just more of a conversation. We usually get 35 to 50 people, and we sit around talking, and it's always a lot of fun. And then, of course, we have the Scuttlebutt, which is our show, podcast, video cast, where we discuss military headlines and have a main story, and then just share some scuttlebutt. And I should let people know I'm not a veteran. I'm a historian, and just fell into the veterans community because of some of the historical work that I've done. And in 2008, started the Veterans Breakfast Club. And I just feel so privileged to be a part of the wonderful community of veterans that we have here in Western Pennsylvania. And through the power of these virtual events, we've been expanding that network, and it's just been a joy for us. But I want to introduce our headliner for tonight, whose name is Longhorn, the comedian, and I'm sure there's a story behind why his parents named him that. Longhorn is a man of many talents. He is a Army veteran. He's a comedian, a public speaker, educational presenter. He's also the author of a new book that I just ordered called Messages in the Madness, a collection of essays. I'm going to share it here in the Zoom. He also does vigorous exercises. And hold on a second. I'm going to share in the Zoom side, at least, the link to Longhorn, the comedian's book. If you order the book, you'll learn his real name. It's stories that he wrote over several years, not just about comedy, but it's about life, business, family, PTSD, veteran suicide prevention. Thank you so much, Longhorn. I know that you go overseas and speak to, do routines for troops overseas. I know you're hard to get, and I'm very grateful that you are able to share a Saturday night with us.
Well, thank you. Can y'all hear me okay? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yep.
You can hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
First and foremost, hey, Ed, I'm going to need you to laugh, okay? You sitting there looking like paint drying. I'm going to need you to laugh. Yeah, Ed Blake, I'm talking to you. I'm going to need you to prep a little bit, okay? I've seen people watch paint dry and have more fun. Joe, I see you, Joe. I see y'all right there. Yeah, you and that other person. I don't know which one's Joe.
That's Nancy. Joe and Nancy Santilli. Hi, Joe and Nancy.
Hey, Joe and Nancy. I see y'all. I'm gonna need y'all to wake the hell up, okay? Because yeah, it look like y'all be. I can look at y'all and see Julia. You World War II, really? Get out of here. So okay. So
he turns 100 in March.
So some of y'all know what a P-38 is, and some of y'all that ate some C rations. You're probably still constipated from them C rations, aren't you? Yes, you are. I know, because those was made by the devil. That's who those was made by. Yes. Yeah. C rations, in case y'all didn't know, see, in the modern army, they eat MREs, okay? But the C rations actually came with a laxative. Yeah, they did. They should have. It was called peanut butter. That stuff, you could actually take that peanut butter, put bricks together, and build you a small hut. Yeah, you could make you a toilet with the peanut butter, and then you get that bread out of the C ration. You could actually build you your own little personal toilet out of that stuff. That stuff was horrible. Okay, and then you guys are old Army, so y'all remember back in the day when we used to have to shine boots. Yeah, these little pansies they got now, they wouldn't know how to shine a boot if you slapped them with it. So, yeah, you guys are the real, you guys were real. You guys did it, for real. Y'all jumped out of airplanes that was working just fine on purpose. Yeah, I don't know that. I don't understand y'all. But, so anyway, I haven't even started telling jokes yet. Hey, Rick, I see you, Mr. Navy man, in your t-shirt. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm going to need you. And Pete, what the hell are you reading? You look like you're reading Reader's Digest. Come on, bud. I'm gonna need you to. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Mr. Peter Thine. I see you. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I'm gonna need you to cheer up, buddy. Okay, just a little bit. Perk up just a little bit. Okay, yeah. Because see, that's the wonderful thing about Zoom. I did not want to do a Zoom show. But when Rob said, "Hey man, come do these Zoom shows," I'm like, "Sure, I'll do it." Because to me, doing these, I'm used to a live audience. Like last night, I was in Bloomfield, Missouri, which is the home and it's the home of the Stars and Stripes Museum. And needless to say, the only thing darker than me down there was asphalt. So I'm telling you the truth, man. But so I'm down there, and they made me an honorary Stars and Stripes correspondent. So I thought that was pretty cool. I got to see an original Jeep, which I think a few of y'all probably have. Ida Mae, wake up, Ida Mae. I see you. Yeah, John, you looking at me like I'm a math problem. I see you, John. I'm talking to you, Mr. Ferguson. Yes, I am talking to you. So yeah, but yeah, y'all ain't gonna just stare at me. I'm gonna talk to y'all. I don't even care. Pat, what are you doing, Pat? Pat, I'm gonna need you to laugh too, Pat. Yes, I see you, Pat. There you go. I got a smile. All right, I'll take that. So anyway, life is good, man. I guess everybody talking about their military history. I don't talk about mine. I am what you would call a very proud retired private E1. Yeah. Yeah, it has something to do with a bag of weed, a hotel room, and a colonel's wife. But this is a clean show, so we won't get into that. Yeah, we won't get into that. I was a combat medic, is what my primary job is, and the only one I will tell you about. Let's just say there's 4 generations of, well, actually there's 5 generations of Army veterans. I'm 4th generation. My daughter is 5th. For those of y'all that do know a little history, I am the great-grandson of Benjamin Oliver Davis Sr., the first Black brigadier general to serve in U.S. military history and a Buffalo soldier. I am the grandson of Benjamin Oliver Davis Jr., the first Black commander of the Tuskegee Airmen, and also the first Black lieutenant general to serve in U.S. military history. My father, Brigadier General Vernon E. Davis Sr., lost a leg and a testicle for this country in Vietnam. I am so glad he made me before he went over there. Y'all don't understand. He came back from Vietnam. He made my brother and my sister, so I just called him my half brother, my half sister.
Wow.
They say, well, you got all this military greatness about you. What happened to you? I said, well, they say greatness often skips a generation. I am that generation. So yeah, I am not an overachiever. No, I am not. People go, well, like I wrote my book. This, how come you don't talk a lot about your military history? And it's really, really simple. And Todd, you being a historian, I'll just tell you the truth. If you read the history of my great grandfather, they say he had no children from his 2 wives. Now he must have been doing something because he had 2 wives. They didn't talk about the ones. They didn't talk about the ones he didn't marry. That's how my father came to be. So therefore, we leave history as it is. Yes, Papa was a rolling stone. Well, Papa was a rolling stone. I'm not too much different than my Papa. I've been married twice. So he's talking about traumatic brain injuries. Yes, I have one. She's upstairs, and I love her. I do. She's a great woman. I have 5 adult children, 13 grandchildren, and 2 great grandchildren. But I could only name 7 of my grandchildren. Yes. My grandkids' names are Stop, Quit, Sit Down, Shut Up. What the hell are you doing? Now you can't have no more. When is your mama putting your little badass up? So, but I do. I love my grandkids. My daughter, who is 5th generation, I love her dearly, but she's very book smart, very, very, very book smart. She's a very intelligent girl. I mean, I love her dearly. When she got out the Army, she had 2 children. Okay, great. She said, Dad, I'm going back to school to get my bachelor's degree. I was like, well, go ahead and do it. She finished her bachelor's degree in 3 years. Impressive. But she was also pregnant with her 3rd child as she walked down the aisle. I'm like, okay, well, at least she's got a bachelor's degree. She could take care of them 3 kids. She said, Dad, I'm going back to school to get my master's degree. I'm like, okay, fine, go ahead. She finished her master's degree in 18 months. She's walking down the aisle. She's pregnant with her 4th child. I looked at her and said, baby, you better not get your PhD. So, I love her dearly. I love her dearly. I had wrote me some notes over here. Let's see. You was talking about the 4 things, that humor causes, dopamine. Yes, we are all on some kind of dope right now. At least we should be. It's fun. Then there's serotonin and what's the oxa something? Yes, that's the one for binding. Yeah, and yeah, I think I'm more on that one than anything. Yes, because I think I'm ovulating, and it's that time of the month. I'm sorry. So, Honestly, I gotta say something. I really am flattered and honored to be in front of you veterans, and I'm gonna tell you why. You see the red, white, and blue? I wear this, and if you go to my web pages or check me out online, I wear an American flag shirt whenever I perform. Usually, if I'm headlining, if I'm not headlining, I may show up, wearing nothing but a hat, cowskin G-string, and some boots. And but otherwise, I usually wear an American flag shirt, and I wear the American flag shirt for 4 reasons. The first reason I wear the American flag shirt is for the men and women who have signed a check with their life and handed it to this country and said, do with it what you will. And they served our country. The second reason I wear it is for you guys, my Vietnam vets, because see, when y'all came home, there was no thank you. There was no you're welcome. There was no parties. Some of y'all had to lie about where you had been. So I wear this shirt to say, welcome home. Thank you for your service, and we are so sorry. We knew not what we did to you. Third, I wear it for the Black men and Black women who served in World War I and World War II, that when they came home wearing their uniforms, proud, down south, there were people who did not believe that they should be able to wear an American uniform. Wow. So they hung them from trees in their uniform. I wear this last but not least because our country is in strife. It is divided, unfortunately. So I wear this shirt because despite of what I know about you or what you know about me, the thing that I do know is that we are all Americans, period. So Amen. That's the reason why I wear this shirt is for y'all. Amen. Amen. So let's see. I'm kind of glad to be down here hanging out with you guys because my wife is happy too because it gives her more time to talk to her boyfriend on the phone. I really don't mind as long as he makes sure, he gets her car note paid on time. It's cool. So it's I wish he'd come over and cut the grass because the leaves start falling. But that's just one more. I'm lazy. I am lazy. Okay, so that's the reason why I have all these grandkids because I still believe in the old school remote control. Hey, kid, go over there and change the channel. But these days you got the remote control, so it's hey, kid, go over there and get me the remote control so I can change the channel. So life has been really, really good. I'm having a birthday next month. I'm kind of, I don't know how much time I'm doing. So somebody want to give me a light or something, let me know when because I will talk. I'm sorry. I'm down here in the basement. You see how black it is behind me. I'm in my, he's giving me the light. That means it's time for me to go, Damien. No, actually, I'm in my neighbor's basement. I'm on his Wi-Fi. Okay. So, yeah, so if you see a strange black guy show up behind me, please tell me, okay? Because I think we're close to Ferguson. I would greatly appreciate that. I was going to tell some jokes, but I cannot remember any. Ed, I see you, Ed. You're not laughing, Ed. I'm gonna need you to laugh, okay? Because I am a little nervous. Last time I was in front of this many white people with this much light, they said number 3 turn left. So come on, I'm gonna need y'all to just laugh a little bit. Yeah, and I haven't.
Longhorn, you said I'm going to interrupt. Longhorn, you said you have a birthday coming up.
Yeah, November 3rd.
Congratulations.
Good, thank you. I'll be 54. My wife is 66 years old.
Wow, that's a weird heckle.
Well, yeah, but it is. But my wife, she's 66. People go, man, you married up. I'm like, no, she married down. Yeah, she wanted to make sure somebody's going to be around to take care of her old ass. So that's the. But anyway, before I get too far into this, a lot of comics do a lot of things. Well, I went to Germany 3 times to entertain the troops. And Todd, thank you again for even mentioning that. When I came back from Germany, the second tour, I saw a unit in Afghanistan coming back. It was coming back from Afghanistan. I wasn't in Afghanistan. But anyway, I saw this unit coming back from Afghanistan in the airport and people, hey, thank you. Go USA, appreciate you. But one thing I didn't see was anybody walk up to a veteran and hand them anything. So what I did was I started, not only am I good looking, as you can see, yes, I am. Yeah, just let you take all that in right there. I'm gonna take off my glasses. Woo! See, no, y'all have to understand, I have to shave my head because if I don't shave my head, I look like I'm going to be selling rice. Yeah, I look like Uncle Ben. That's who I look like. And then if I shave my head, I can't shave off my mustache because then I look like I own a van with no windows, and you won't let the kids go fishing with me. So, and then on top of it, so then I can't shave my hair, my mustache, or my goatee because then I look like Todd Bridges. Scares the hell out of white people. And then if I shave my hair, my mustache, and my goatee, and I put on some little small glasses, people ask me, do I take the red pill or the blue pill? Yes, they see I look like Morpheus. But anyway, I'm sorry, the devil used me. I'm sorry. Suzanne, you're not laughing. Francis, I see you over there. Kate, I'm watching you too. Don't be turning off the camera. I see. Was Angelo? Man, you just look so cool, Angelo. What's up, bro? Yeah, you look like you done did a line or two tonight. Okay, there you go. All right. So anyway, so when I came back from Vietnam, well, not Vietnam, I did not go to Vietnam. Okay, I live near Vietnam. It's called East St. Louis. But anyway, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want to get okay. Tell you what. Honestly, if I really didn't like somebody, what I would do is I would dip them in honey and then then I would dip them in honey and then cover them with $10 bills and then send them running right down the middle of the street in East St. Louis. That's what I would do. But that's just me. So not that I'm not a mean person. See, I was kind of sweet, really, because I'm gonna make them sweet and I'm gonna put money on them. Now, what happens after that is a whole different story. Anyway, so when I was coming back, I decided to sit down and come up with a way to thank veterans. I'm not trying to sell you Amway products, okay? I made a little thank you card. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Mm-hmm.
And on the inside is some really pretty words that I actually wrote because I actually have a public school education. Yes, sir. I can cipher. And for my Vietnam vets on the back there, you'll recognize that ribbon right there. I made these for my veterans. And then on top of that, I have a dog tag. And it says, you're getting sleepy. You are getting... It says, thank you for your service and sacrifice. You are appreciated. And the reason why I'm telling you guys this is if you ain't got to trust me, you can send it all to Todd. If you'll get Todd your email or give me a way to mail you one of these, I'd be happy to send you this because honestly, I've awarded this to over 18,500 veterans worldwide. It's just my way of saying thank you. Well, thank you, Marine. Brad, I see you. Simplify. Okay, yeah, I actually talked to Marines. We need somebody to go in front of us and catch the bullets. So,
yeah.
But this is what I do because honestly, I try to educate through laughter. And I hope that y'all have enjoyed yourselves tonight because I've enjoyed being here with y'all. Hey, Jeff and Linda, I see y'all. Okay, Linda, you can move a little closer to Jeff. You've been with him a while. I think y'all actually like each other. I hope so. Y'all can share the camera, but I hope that you guys have enjoyed. I am overjoyed to be here in front of y'all tonight. And Rob, Rob, I love Rob. Andrew, man, you're a great guy. I haven't met you yet. I'm digging that shirt though.
Except
I know
I've opened for him in person.
I think I've seen that on Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. I mean, but no, I'm just messing with you. It's a great shirt. Don't beat me up, sir. And where'd my vet go? Where'd he go? Damon. Did he leave? Oh no, there he is right there. Okay. Hey man, great set. I appreciate y'all. But honestly, I give all the credit to Rob for inviting me because Rob actually Rob and I met through a Facebook ad. It was something about massages. It was Craigslist. And it was about, massages. But no, he actually brought me to New York to perform. And I ended up coming back again. I was the keynote speaker at St. Bonaventure University. Wow. And so being there for veterans and anybody on this call or on this, I am a vet, true enough. I'm here to help, and I'm here to help in any way that I can. I appreciate Dr. Gordon, and Dr. DePanstio.
Whatever.
Okay. I appreciate y'all being both on here because now I don't have to go see my doctor this week. So that's I've never been to the VA. Honestly, I've never been to the VA. And the reason why is because I try to make sure that I don't want to take up room for one of y'all that may need it more than I do. So I say this to y'all as I go back upstairs and interrupt my wife and her boyfriend. I normally start my show with God and I end with God, so I didn't get a chance to do that, but keep God first in your life or whatever your higher power is, because quite frankly, you have not gotten as far as you have by yourself. So whether it's God, Buddha, Jehovah, maybe you pray to 5 midgets, maybe not, but 5 hamsters in grass skirts dancing around a fire. Whatever your thing is, keep that in front of you. Second, respect yourself. All this me too, we too, it's really simple. Keep your hands to yourself, okay? If you didn't pay, don't touch. Third, beat your kids or beat your grandkids. What I'm not saying literally, I'm saying raise your kids so that the world don't have to raise them for us. And last but not least, I thank you, I respect you, and I honor you being veterans and going forth because of y'all, I am free. We are free to do what it is that we do. Come together, live, love, and laugh. God bless y'all.
Longhorn, the comedian. Thank you. Oh, this is great. Thank you, Longhorn. I thought, I had this roundtable conversation planned, but I thought we have such engagement here, and Longhorn, you were great at drawing out some of the people on tonight. I just thought we would open it up if people have questions or comments. They want to.
Yes, I am wearing a bra.
Jeff and Linda.
Hey, Longhorn, was your great grandfather the Buffalo Soldier?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was he out at Fort Huachuca?
He did. He was at Huachuca very briefly.
Okay.
Very briefly.
The reason why I bring that up because the 9th and 10th Cav were the black Buffalo soldiers out there at Fort Huachuca, and Linda and I were out there 3.5 years. And,
wow.
And then the 92nd and 93rd divisions came out of there. They were the black divisions during World War II.
Yes, sir.
So thank you very much.
Well, let me give you a little bit more background on that. You guys, for those of y'all that don't know, the Buffalo Soldiers also were they were the first Pony Express. They were the first Pony Express going west. They were also our very first park rangers.
Oh.
They helped to establish Yosemite and a number of the big Yellowstone and a couple other the major national parks out west. So Buffalo Soldiers were very instrumental in settling the West. Grandfather spent a lot of time, and my father, my grandfather, and great grandfather all hit Fort Riley, Kansas, and almost ended 3 out of 4 careers. It definitely ended mine. Fort Riley, Kansas is definitely where they send everybody to die. So no, I'm kidding. But no, thank y'all very much so you guys are Army, Jeff and Linda?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Well, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments out there for any of our veterans before I start interrogating them? Katie. Oh, I'm sorry, Brad, and then Katie. Brad.
Yeah, the Longhorn. Did we ever hear how he got the name Longhorn? Did I miss
okay.
that?
Oh, are we still live on Facebook?
It's not what. Okay, here, I'm gonna move. Let me move the curtain for one. Okay.
Wow, it's like
Texas.
It's like revealing the Wizard of Oz.
Pretty much.
Like
I am a Texan, as you can see. Texas, right? Big Texan. Well, what happened was everybody used to call me, when I started doing comedy, everybody used to just call me Cowboy because nobody would call me. Well, everybody would just call me Cowboy. Well, the girlfriend of mine she used to say I used to tell the biggest BS stories in the world. And then she went to Texas and for the first time, and she saw a longhorn cow take a dump. And she said that was the biggest pile of crap she ever seen in her life. So when she came back, she goes, I got the name for you because, I'm already from Texas. She said, you will be now known as Big Daddy Texas Longhorn. I said, why is that? And then she pulled out the picture and showed it to me. She actually took a picture of this dump. And so therefore, that's how I got the name. Well, it was Big Daddy Texas Longhorn, but it's been shortened to Longhorn the Comedian. True story.
I'm glad you asked that question, Brad.
Well, I get asked it quite often on the road, and the answer just really depends on how cute she is. So,
all right, we're gonna go to Katie Patko.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hey, Katie.
Hey. I just wanted to say, first of all, I've enjoyed this program immensely. I am not a veteran. However, I have veteran family. My grandfather was in the Navy for 20 years, And my other grandfather is still alive, was in World War II in the Army. He's 94 years old. But I am an actress. So the reason I'm enjoying this so much is because I truly understand what it's like to perform in front of people, but not to perform in front of people that can't respond to you, and can't.
It's weird.
No, it's
Yeah.
amazing. It's amazing because Longhorn's like, oh no, you're not paying attention. I can't even look at him. I'm just gonna
No,
do
right.
Exactly. I was
It's
trying to
amazing.
show my emotion and my smiles as much as I possibly could, so you guys understood that I was totally getting what you're doing and totally understanding and appreciating every single second of it.
Well, hey, Kate, let me tell you a little something. If you ever watch another Zoom comedy show, just remember one thing.
What's that?
Your mic is on, so I could actually hear you laugh.
No, you couldn't.
Yes, I could. Your mic was on. It was on. You thought it was off, but it was on. I'm trying to
laugh you heard that.
I'm trying to Jedi mind trick you is what I'm trying to do. So
well, I'm also part of the Veterans Breakfast Club program committee, and this was as a volunteer, and this was, I think, one of the best. Again, I'm not a veteran, but I am part of the committee, and I do volunteer for a lot of different veteran organizations. And this was one of the best things I've ever seen. And Todd, I hope we do this again. I hope we do more things like this. It was fantastic. And if you need me to close you out, I can. Just so
thank you, Katie. Thank you very much.
Wait a minute. Hey, Richard, are you okay down there? I'm checking on you. Richard Norwood, I see you. Are you okay? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. A little higher. Come on. You can do it.
Hey, Rich.
Go. Okay.
Good to see you, Rich. I walk past your banner on Washington Road just about every day. I see you on Washington Road, but I haven't seen you on Zoom for a while, so it's good to see you. Robb Will, you had TBI, but that is not. Was it Army related or no?
I've had 4 brain injuries in life. One is Army related. Tank turrets, solid metal. Nothing wimpy about a tank turret. I slammed my head off it multiple times while repairing them, and one time it sent me to the hospital.
Okay.
Doing it, but that wasn't the most recent one. Was a 2,300-pound cluster of argon cylinders. When I was working for a welding distributor here in Jamestown, it was being unloaded with a forklift, and the steel casters caught the lip of the dock, and it tipped at me, and it hit me in the side of the head, proving my grandfather right. I am a hard-headed son of a bitch. Long after that title stuck with me, but anyway, that's where it's at. So and then my brother was killed in a motorcycle accident April 26th of 2008, only about 180 days after he retired. And April 26th is actually the same day of the year Lucille Ball died. We buried him in Arlington in Section 33 on July 17th of 2008. Turns out that's Lucy Arnaz's birthday, Lucille Ball's daughter. I didn't pick either of those 2 days. I didn't pick today. Today's actually the anniversary of Mogadishu.
Yeah.
Wow. You know what, Rob? Again, people don't understand TBIs, traumatic brain injuries. I received one in the military, but I got hit by a truck. I got hit by an F-250, being a good Samaritan. And ironically, today I work for Ford. I'm a contractor with Ford. I should hate Ford. But I got hit by a truck and left for dead on the side of the road. Broke my pelvis in 8 places, all the ribs in my back, contusion to my bladder. I lost 2 pints of blood, and there's knot on my head that I have had since I was 25 years old. For those of y'all, those of y'all already know that TBIs are traumatic, and they can trigger 20 years afterwards. But the thing about all y'all that I respect so much is that it allows you to keep living. You guys are still smiling, you're still living, you're still going through your life, and you're still getting help, and you're being helpful to other people. So I love y'all for that.
That's wonderful. And I do want to share again your book, Longhorn, is Messages in the Madness.
Who is that naked baby?
I don't know. That was the only picture you had?
That was actually me when I was that was me at 18 months old. I was in Heidenhammer, Texas, right outside of Temple, right outside of Fort Hood. And my great grandmother was raising me because my mom, when she had me, she was only 14 years old.
Wow.
And so that's me. And there was I had a pet rooster that mysteriously disappeared on Thanksgiving. True story. I mean, it did. It just mysteriously disappeared. But no, there's a number of pictures in the book. I have my service picture in the book. I've lost all my memorabilia over the years from being in the military, just from traveling and different unfortunate things. I was homeless as a teenager, and then after I got out the military, I was homeless for a brief time as well. So, you know, I've lost a lot of my memorabilia, but there's a couple of pictures of me in the book. Matter of fact, I put it. Sorry, I don't mean to hold y'all up, but it's in here. Oh, I'm sorry. I was telling y'all about me in the American flag shirt. Well, there I am.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, I am too sexy. I'm so sexy, make my left nipple hard. I didn't say that out loud, did I? I'm sorry. But like I say, the book itself, and I thank you for even mentioning it. Yeah, there I am. That was me. That's the thing about it is my fiance was a young lady who I sent that to her and she kept it and she just gave it to me about 10 years ago. Other than that, I didn't even have that picture.
Oh boy.
Wow.
So she gave it to me. Her sister had passed away and she came here to St. Louis for the funeral. And she had found some old pictures and that was the old picture that she found. And she told me what she had been doing is keeping that picture to keep rodents and pests out of her house. So yeah, awesome. I'm sorry, I'm talking. I talk way too much. Okay, so
do I. Between you and me, yeah.
Well,
there's not room enough in the Veterans Breakfast Club for both of us.
But and I apologize for smoking on camera, but it's cheaper than hookers and crack, so I smoke.
I want to ask Andrew. You served 20. How many years did you serve in the Army? 10 years in the Army. What made you want to join the Army to begin with?
My older brother joined. Life also kind of sucked. It's like I got my first taste of adulthood working at Walmart and like not being able to pay bills. And it's like, I want something more stable, just a better life. So, and I was like, you know what, anything going on? And I was like, well, 2003, I guess there's a war starting. I could go do that. So that was better than Walmart.
So you knew when you joined that you were going to be going to war?
Yeah, of course.
Did war end up being kind of what you thought it would be or something completely different?
Once you get the Hollywood, it looks great on camera, and then you do the training in real life and you're like, oh my God, I'm tired. Like, it's like, I'm like, this is not what you think it is. But after a while, you get so used to it and you get into a rhythm and God, it just becomes second nature being out.
Yeah. You served in Iraq and Afghanistan. Which was first in your career?
We went to Iraq first.
Do you remember your landing there, what your first reaction was, what your first thoughts were?
We day one was we flew in from Camp Virginia to Baghdad International Airport, and then from there hopped on birds to Camp Rustamaya, which was tucked in between a landfill and a human waste factory. So you're flying over and you're like, what's that smell? And people are like, oh, that's your house. Like, oh, this is amazing. And just like in traditional fashion, they like to welcome you in with whatever display of power that they like to give you with any sort of IDF indirect. So you're like, okay, this is a pretty good welcome in the country. It's like it smells, it's hot, and like nice light show.
Yeah, nice light show,
Yeah.
smells hot, uncomfortable. How
Mm.
long were you there?
A year.
1 year.
Yeah.
And then, those are wars that are taking place, and people like me, not veterans, not from military family, we were kind of watching them with one eye. We would get some images on TV, not really understanding the differences between those two wars. Can you explain for people how Iraq and Afghanistan were different?
Yeah. So most of the first of all, it's a cultural difference. You'll notice that they're a lot more primed to fight you face to face in Afghanistan than they are in Iraq. In Iraq, they're very they love the quick ambush and bounce. To where in Afghanistan they like to hang out and play with you for a while. It's a lot more free range in Afghanistan than it is in Iraq. Everything's much more contained because a lot of there's a lot more bigger cities, a lot more development in Iraq, where Afghanistan is just very much open mountainous land. So there's a lot more. It's an impossible battlefield. Alexander the Great went through there, and all he ever talked about was how terrible the terrain was. And even you're a historian, I'm a history nerd too. So being able to go to Afghanistan and go through the KG Pass and stay in some of the old temples that Alexander and his men had built, it was an honor to be able to step inside of those and see where these greats have traveled. So it's cool to be able to. And Iraq, you have the Tigris and the Euphrates, so it's cool to see where like you learn about life starting with the beginning of civilization with the Middle East and the Bronze Era and the boom and all this stuff. So it's cool to see it firsthand, where you're like, I learned about that as a kid, and now I get to see it.
That's really neat. That's really neat. Not many vets kind of bring that up, but that's so you were a cavalry scout, and
oh boy.
Yeah.
Hey. Don't make me pull up my screen.
That doesn't sound like a safe job to me.
Who?
Gosh, I thought he was going to say manly job. I really did.
Wow.
Why would I say that?
Andrew, I'm applauding you already because Andrew's life expectancy was just slightly shorter than mine. No, I was a combat medic, so yeah, his was just
combat medic. Exactly. That sounds like a.
Basically,
let's talk about Andrew. Don't talk about
they
me.
got popped 30 seconds after us while they're working on us. That's what it was.
Right. So here's my question, Andrew. Was that something you chose or was chosen for you?
Oh no, I chose it.
Why?
Okay, so there used to be this commercial in 2003. Dude laying on top of an OP, just looking out at a field, and it's like 18, day 18, he only packed for 3 days of food and this stuff. And I'm like, man, I could do that. I could lay there. I could do that. And then you get there after hour 18 and you're like, what the hell am I doing? So it's not until you start actually facing trial. I was a dirtbag from the time I got there. I'm from New York. So I had to go to Pennsylvania to do all my good hunting and all this stuff and all that. But I had this attitude and I was like, this is beneath me. This is better than me. And it wasn't until my battle buddy was hurting that I had to carry his ruck and pull his weight that I was like, oh, that's what this shit's all about.
Yeah.
So from there, it's like, okay, I get it now. This is way bigger than me. You drop the ego, you drop the attitude, and you become part of a cohesive team. And it's what you literally get that living embodiment of what it means to take care of other people while they take care of you.
Isn't that great?
Yeah,
that is great. Hey, Andrew, I take my hat off to you, bro, because me, if I lost my aid bag, I just became a grunt. I became 11 Bravo. If I lost my aid bag, but you cavalry, you scouts, man. Hey, I take nothing but respect for y'all.
Thanks,
I don't talk a lot about what I did in the military because I put like this. I'm sure y'all understand, but it does still bother me at times. You know, I just say I appreciated doing what I was doing and who I was able to do it with. The last part of my career, I did a few missions that is the reason why I'm no longer a soldier. I'll put it like that. But Andrew, man, yeah, if it was you guys, man, honestly, if it wasn't for the job that you guys did going forward, you know, there'd be a lot of people who wouldn't be coming, who would not have made it home. You know, Rob, doing what you're doing. Reason I know about your job, I learned to load, drive, fire M60 because I was attached to 4th and 37th Armor. And you know, but the beautiful thing about it though is, you know, we really didn't have much to worry about because we could always send the Marines ahead of us. You know, they didn't know nothing about
you know, when we're talking about Rob,
I'm just having fun with you, Brad.
I don't mean to take away here, but I want to talk about Rob for a minute because there was a big catalyst in the world of war, and Rob's brother, you know, who had passed, was a big part of that. He developed an up armor which saved for the 1151 Humvees, which saved most of our lives. So most of us wouldn't be here if it hadn't been for the work and the patents that Rob's brother had made. You know, this is the first war where we're surviving the types of blasts that originally would have not killed us, and now we're the first generation to have to learn how to live after that.
Yeah.
So Rob's brother, we wouldn't even be here today, if a lot of us, if it wasn't for his brother. So
Rob, what was your brother's name?
Jason.
Jason Will, Lieutenant Colonel.
Yeah, Jason William Robbins.
Yeah. Now I'm not going to take anything away from Rob's people because I greatly appreciate his contribution. But I look at my Vietnam vets and my World War II vets.
That's
and they
what
go,
I say.
Hey man, we didn't have none of that. We went into combat. We was like naked and carrying, you know, we just naked carrying guns, you know, and we just had to tie our MREs, you know, our rations to our butt and run on in there. So when you say the greatest generation, you know, my World War II, Korean War, Vietnam, you know, y'all went in, you had a utility belt, a rucksack, some jump boots, or maybe if you know you went to Vietnam, you know, y'all was wearing the jungle boots. But the equipment that, you know, I had going in, and then the stuff that, you know, Rob and the guys that came after me that they had, like Andrew, half the stuff that you guys had, we did not have. Yeah. And the guys that came before me, half the stuff I had, they didn't even have. So for them to come back, man, I just think it's amazing, you know, because honestly, y'all basically was going in, you know, just, I mean, I know I said, you know, being funny, but y'all was an equivalent to today's Army. Y'all went in naked.
You did. Yeah.
You know, for the most part, there was no flak jackets, you know.
LBV and a helmet.
Bulletproof.
And the helmet wasn't even bulletproof.
What?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the helmet wasn't bulletproof. You know, the best thing you could do with it was cook. You know, I mean,
we shaved out of it.
So I got nothing but respect for y'all, man. Vietnam vets.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I got nothing but respect for y'all. What I did compared to what y'all did was nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
Real quick, I saw pictures of my grandfather when he took some pictures in Buchenwald, and I got to be honest with you. As a very young kid, I can still remember the tragedy of just seeing those pictures.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine having to, you know, go into one of those places first, you know. I've been through the Holocaust Museum in DC, and that's a life changer. I think everybody needs to go there and spend some time, but no, it'll be emotional. You'll see some stuff that you just, man, I can't believe the inhumane ways that you know, people allowed people, and people did that to other people. You know, I couldn't have done that myself. I would have, you know.
You know, Andrew, I was going to ask you if you were glad you joined the Army, you know, and served for 10 years.
Day.
And but you answered the question. I don't need to ask it because you answered it with your eloquent statement about kind of what you got from it. And it just reminds me of our last week at Greatest Generation Live, we had 96-year-old Larry Kirby, who was on Iwo Jima as a Marine. And at the end of our conversation, you know, he tells a pretty hard story, as hard as you could possibly tell of 22 friends dead at Iwo Jima. And he said, I'm so glad I did it. And I said, Larry, I'm sorry, but I don't get how you could be glad you did that. And he said, because I learned an important lesson. And I asked him what it was. And he said that love is more important than life. It just,
amen twice.
In that second, I think I understood why I love being in the veterans community, being a part of it and getting that wisdom. Damien Gabis, I want to ask you, why did you join the Army, and did war end up being kind of what you thought it would be?
Why did I join that? Why did I join the Army as opposed to other branches? Or why did I join that?
How about both? First of all, why the Army? And then why would you want to join the military at all?
Why I wanted to join, it was just something I always wanted to do. None of my family had done it. Really. And it's just something I thought like I could do. It was a challenging personal thing. I could do that. And why I joined the Army was, well, I wanted to be a Ranger. You know, I wasn't in the infantry, but I never got the chance to go to RASP is what it's called now, Ranger Assessment and Selection. If I stayed in, I probably could have, but so that's what I wanted to do. But and war, I guess it wasn't what I thought it would be when I was a civilian. But once you train and train and train and train, war was a little bit, it's like long stretches of boredom, and then just absolute fucking terror for several moments. Like the firefights. I mean, like, they're fun after. Like, you're like, hey, remember that time where we shot at people and didn't die? Like, that was
awesome.
Yeah, you're in the middle of it. You're like, yeah. When I got blown up, like one of the guys like in the back of the truck, he's like, Gabis, you want a cigarette? I was like, fuck yeah, I want a cigarette. And then he was like, hey, you still got your dick, bro? And I was like, all right, let me feel. Like, yeah, still got, yeah, everything's copacetic. So it was like pretty sweet. Like, you have this euphoria that you like don't even like you just chase that high because you faced it and you lived. But then when you're not doing that, you're like, well, I guess I'll just work out, or watch movies and do other nefarious things I can't say on this. So namely to do with an internet connection and a hard drive. But just yeah, well, you meet people. Like, we had a partner force of Afghans, and these were like not your typical partner force. These dudes were like legit, and we got real close with them, and a couple of them moved to the States after, and like just like learning and respecting and not like being able to understand a different culture, that like this is just how nuanced, like Andrew was saying, we talked about that when we were over there. Like, this place is the death of empires. Yeah. No one can win here ever. Like Alexander the Great, the British, the Russians, us. Like, if you want to come out with a concept of victory, like, it's not going to happen. Not even an occupation.
You talked about 19 years of war. I mean, this isn't impossible. You can't take over this country.
And you were saying that when you were there.
Oh yeah, we're like
before they went over there.
Yeah, but like this, I mean, like, we could win a firefight, we could do X amount of things, but this is so remote, like, we can't possibly root out the cause of this. Like, we cannot play cops and robbers for 50 years. Like, it's so remote, it's incredible. Like, it's hard to explain. It's incredible how remote this country is, that all the bad guys know where all, like, just a hide and fucking seek all the time. Like, it's solid. It's
I don't
like
know about you guys. We were required to read Other Side of the Mountain before we left to go there to learn about ambush tactics, how they use the mountains and the terrain. Like there's multiple books written on how to even just get into Afghanistan and how to survive the terrain. I mean, it's insane.
How to get in and how to survive, let alone win a war there.
Yeah.
Boy, is this interesting.
We were on we were in two different provinces. We were in Paktia first.
Yeah.
Ooh, and
where?
We went this. What's that?
Where? In Paktia.
Chamkani. Chamkani.
Drove to the filter.
So it was real kinetic before we got there, but then it was kind of like whatever when we got there. Like we were with SF. Like it was just a squad of us attached to an SF team. So like they had kind of like done the work, and it kind of it was just a lot less of an issue there for us. But we went on one of the first times outside the wire. We went out on it was called the Rabat Pass, and it's like there's what we call switchbacks. You know, you go and you twist around, twisting, turning up around in trucks. I'm thinking, like, if some of these guys just want to hit us right now, we're fucked. Like, there's no way. Yeah,
push a
like,
fucking rock.
Here's us, you know, and then here's them, like, straight up on top of you. Like, you live, like, and then
God.
I remember, like, one time I had to drive on a mission. I had to drive an MATV, which is huge, and like I had to like do one of those like Austin Powers turnarounds, you know, like on the. And I'm doing this on like I'm just doing it on a mountain, and I'm driving forward, and the gunner's like, "All right, back it up," and my asshole is puckered so tight, it's just I just can barely. I'm like, "You sure, man? Like, you sure? Like if we tip over this bitch, like we're all dead."
We're done. That's it. That's it. Game over.
Yeah, like we're all dead, and this is the worst possible. Like our bodies are going to be mangled, and you know, at least like my wife gets a $400,000 check. Like that's pretty sweet, I guess. But then I don't know, like just the factor of just driving, and then like, oh, we got to get over this. Oh, now we're in a firefight. Okay, so like. It's just weird, but that muscle memory of the war part, like you train and train and train, you're like, okay, this is more normal than the weird alien parts of the country, like being able to, you know, like that muscle memory of like, you know, we at the range, like I know this weapon, I can do this,
right?
You know, but like this is more familiar,
right,
than just like the alien parts of Afghanistan. So like this is okay, like. It's a little bit more calm. Like I know the guys I'm with, I've been with them. Like I know what they're doing, and you know what they're doing. Yeah, kind of. No one really knows what you're doing, but like
that's interesting. So it's almost as if you're relieved to be doing something you're familiar with. You know this weapon. You know what they're supposed to do. You know what you're supposed to do. You know, once the fighting starts, once it gets kinetic, as you said.
Well, that depends. Like if you're in a switchback, you're also like, but you don't realize you got like 1,000 feet down. You're also looking at something 1,000 feet up. So no, you've never been taught how to fight like that ever. Not once in any training have you ever been like, okay, this is how you. It doesn't work like that.
Let me bring this back to y'all for a second. One thing that the military has taught us all is remember your training. When all else fails, remember your training. And that's the reason why I'm able to look at the faces that we're able to see today, because we all are doing just that. We're remembering our training of how to live and how to survive and how to, and Marine, I'm going to use yours, how to adapt and overcome. You know, so that's what, you know, Damon, man, Andrew, tonight, y'all are my heroes, bro. Because like I said, I was just Doc. You know, of course, you know, don't be wrong. I'd have busted out some caps and probably shot some folks that, you know, I'll never know. And like I said, I don't talk about it a lot because I have trouble with it. But that muscle memory that you talked about, Damon, that just kind of snapped in my head there. And that's how we're all getting by today, is through muscle memory. You know, being able to, and that muscle memory has allowed us to, we can flex to do what it is that we got to do, but then we have to relax to let whatever it is that's bothering us or that's driving us or that's in our way move away from us. So thank you for bringing that, because honestly, TBI, dealing with the TBI is just that, muscle memory, and figuring out how to deal with it and how to get around it. That is, man, that you just hit the nail on the head with that one, brother.
Thank you for
brought up Longhorn. Real quick, sorry. I think you brought up a good point, Longhorn, about like flexing the muscle, and like that's a big part about warrior culture is just keeping that muscle but flex all the time, like tense all the time, like this outward showing of like this is my job and identity, like this is my job all the time. And I'm sure that it's probably hits home with a lot of maybe Vietnam era veterans, is that like you're stripped of that identity, or you're flexing a muscle of being a soldier, being a Marine, being a sailor, all this, that, and the other. And you got this like outer steely exterior, and you're not supposed to kind of delve deeper into that. And I think that warrior culture is really like ingrained that you don't talk about these certain things all the time, and so I think
healthy,
getting better at that is, something the Army still struggles with. Like,
they don't teach warrior culture in Air Force.
Andy Niggett is here, and I know he won't reveal himself, but he's a Marine, Vietnam, Purple Heart. And he has said how, you're trained to be a warrior, and it's extremely hard when you come home to turn off that warrior key, to kind of become a civilian again. How do you kind of deprogram as a warrior? That's a fascinating conversation. I'd love to continue this. Andrew, I know you served in Afghanistan. Damien, if you could make it Monday night at 7 for our happy hour, we'd love to have you. If you can't, that's fine too, but we'd love to have you anytime you want to come and just join us and share some experiences or listen. Longhorn, the comedian, thank you so much for joining us tonight and being our headliner. And once again, if you would like to join us to listen, to talk, although I wouldn't be able to be here because not big enough for the two of us, but I would love to have you come on and share.
You say Monday nights?
Monday nights at 7. Every Monday night at 7. Every Wednesday morning at 9. And then Sunday at 4 is our Greatest Generation Live. And I do expect the 4 Marines I see with us tonight, Dan and Cheryl, Andy, Haya, Brad, if you could make it tomorrow at 4, we are covering the flag raising photo at Iwo Jima. We're having Eric Krell on. And Eric is, he's a toy designer with Oriental Trading in Omaha, Nebraska. He's also an amateur historian who discovered the forgotten flag raiser. He discovered that John Bradley was not in the famous Joe Rosenthal photo of 6 Marines raising a flag at Iwo Jima, and that rather it was Harold Schultz who was in it. And he had to convince the Marine Corps of that, and he did. And it's a fascinating story of how he discovered it. We're going to have 3 veterans on who saw the flag go up at Iwo Jima, 2 Marines, 1 Navy. And I hope you join us tomorrow at 4. It should be a really fascinating conversation. We're going to go through a lot of the photos and the detective work that Eric had to do to make that discovery. So again, I hope you can join us tomorrow at 4, Wednesday at 7. Oh, I'm sorry, Monday at 7, Wednesday at 9 a.m. I want to thank Dr. Chris Ann Gordon for putting this together and really inspiring all of us.
No. You've got to thank these guys, and I need to thank, Andrew and Rob and Damien and Longhorn. I've got to say, I didn't know you until 2 weeks ago, because our little guys have been practicing this all along to kind of hone it, to get on there. What you do by paying it forward, by being a mentor to them. I really am so blessed to be here with you all. So thank you all so much.
And Ellie, before we go, if you want to share Resurrecting Lives Foundation website, if people want to make a donation to Resurrecting Lives, if people want to make a donation to the Warrior Workout Network, that would be wonderful. And if people want to check out our schedule, the Veterans Breakfast Club, it's veteransbreakfastclub.org. Thank you, all of those of you.
Let me throw this out there real quick.
Okay.
I put my website up. Thankyouforyourservice.com is actually a website. It's actually a 501c3. If you want me to send you a tag, I'll send you a tag. I'm happy to do it. If you make a donation, don't worry. I have a very good job. I sell hand sanitizer, so I'm making great money. So all the donations go towards thanking other veterans. But I don't keep email addresses. Just send me an email with an address, name and an address. I will send it to you because that's what it's all about, is thanking y'all. And again, I don't mean to steal nobody's thunder, but as I look at y'all's faces, man, I just say thank you. Jeff and Linda, Joe, Rich, John, Ken, Ed, looking like he about to beat somebody's ass.
Ed's a sweetheart. Ed is a sweetheart.
Ed looked like he could make the Pope cuss. Rick, Pat, John, I just thank every one of y'all. I do, man. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your life. And thank you for your dedication to this country.
Oh, you're great, Longhorn. Thank you all. Good night, everybody. What a wonderful way to spend a Saturday night. I hope to see you all